The billionaire collapsed in the middle of breakfast, but the doctor said there was absolutely nothing wrong with him. There lived a billionaire named Horace Vanderbilt III. He was a man of enormous wealth, owner of dozens of companies, investor in half the city's skyline, and a collector of priceless artifacts from across the world. But despite his overflowing vaults, Horace felt a growing emptiness. He was aging, nearing 80, and something far more valuable than his gold troubled him: trust. Horace had 3 children, a second wife half his age, and several grandchildren. But in recent years, he noticed something: no one visited unless they needed something. No one called unless there was a deal to pitch or a problem to fix. And he wondered, if all his money disappeared, would any of them still love him? So, Horace made a decision. He called his private doctor, Dr. Marr, a man who owed Horace his entire practice. "Say I'm sick. Really sick. Dying. But tell no one the details." The doctor raised an eyebrow but nodded slowly. "You're staging your death?" "Not death," Horace corrected. "I'm staging truth. The rumor begins." The next morning, whispers started in the mansion's hallways. By evening, it was all over town. "Mr. Vanderbilt is gravely ill. He might not have long. He refuses treatment. He's in bed, not speaking much anymore." Suddenly, the family appeared like vultures circling a feast. First came Graham, the oldest son. A businessman himself, he hadn't visited in 3 years. He arrived in a tailored suit, pretending to be heartbroken. "Father, how are you?" Horace, lying in bed wrapped in silk blankets, whispered weakly, "Each breath could be my last." Graham's face tightened. Not with grief, but with calculation. "Have you, finalized the will?" Horace turned away. He knew. Later that night, Graham was on the phone with a lawyer. Next came Eliza, the second child. She brought flowers, tears, and a film crew. "I want to honor Dad," she told the staff. "Maybe a documentary on his legacy." She posted photos online. Hashtag my hero dad Blackheart. Hashtag pray for Horace. Hashtag gratitude and gold. But her phone revealed another truth: text messages to her agent. "If he dies soon, I want to announce my podcast and book the same day. Think Oprah's people would be interested?" Horace watched from a hidden camera in the room. He was heartbroken, but not surprised. Clarissa, the billionaire's glamorous second wife, cried rivers of mascara as she held Horace's hand. "I don't know what I'll do without you," she sobbed. "I've already started planning the funeral. I want it tasteful, but memorable. Maybe in Tuscany?" She was already wearing black. But later, Horace overheard her laughing on the phone. "Finally, I can wear color again. And I want that ocean view mansion." He promised it anyway. But then, the grandson. Among the parade of greed came a surprise. Sammy, Eliza's 10-year-old son. He didn't come for money. He came with cookies. "I baked them myself," he whispered. "I thought if you're sick, maybe you don't get good snacks anymore." Horace smiled, genuinely, for the first time in weeks. Sammy read him stories. He didn't ask questions about the will. He just hugged his grandpa and said, "I love you." That night, Horace wept silently. Because in the darkest moment of false illness, he had found one real thing. 2 weeks later, Horace deteriorated. His lawyer called the family to the estate. They arrived dressed in designer black, wearing fake grief like cheap cologne. They were led to the Grand Library, where a video played. It was Horace. Alive. Sitting straight. Speaking clearly. "If you're watching this, then you've all failed. Except one." He looked at the camera. "To those who saw my sickness as opportunity, you showed me your hearts. I thank you for the honesty of your greed. To Sammy, who brought me cookies and kindness, you've shown me hope. So here's my final will." Horace didn't die. He walked in through the door, alive, well, and furious. He rewrote the will in front of them. Graham? Disinherited. Eliza? Left with a single silver spoon. Clarissa? Given one plane ticket to return to her modeling agency, no mansion, no jewelry. Sammy? Made the full heir, not of the billions in cash, but of Horace's personal trust, his mentorship, and eventually, the foundation that controlled his wealth. Horace lived 5 more years. He taught Sammy business, history, and humility. Together, they turned his empire into a force for good: scholarships, hospitals, and sustainable housing. And in every office of the new Vanderbilt Foundation hung a single quote from Horace's final speech. You don't measure love by words spoken when you're rich. You measure it by actions when you're weak. And so, the tale of the billionaire who faked his illness became a legend, not just of wealth, but of truth, character, and the unexpected power of a child's honest heart. But in boardrooms and mansions, whenever wealth is tested by love, someone always remembers the story of Horace, and wonders, would I pass the test?